It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Just a bit outside. Radio show live on the air, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And, we took a week off, and the cogs are in the machine. It's like a month off or something like that, because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing today. Keisha, how's it going?
How you doing, man?
No, like OBS that we use for broadcasting, like all of a sudden it just like jumped, and I'm like, what's going on? What do I do? Oh boy.
All right. Well, like Mark said, it's Friday night, and we are jamming. And for the first time in the history of JABO, Mark and I are not in the same state.
Well, I wouldn't say the first time, but the first time permanently.
I'm saying, was there another time when we did the show when we weren't in the same?
Yeah, we did. When I went to Arizona for Christmas one year, I called in.
Okay.
And then,
yes.
That first year we were on the show, you called in from Hong Kong.
I was just thinking about that, but I couldn't remember if that happened. But okay, yes. All right. I got to retract that statement, yeah, because we have done it a couple of times, but this, like Mark said, this is more of a permanent thing, and I guess Mark, I wanted to kind of start the show off talking about your big move, man. I mean, you put a post up for those who follow Mark, and I just thought it would be nice to kind of just let the listeners know what's been going on with you, and I guess like hook up with JABO.
Yeah, well, I think we've alluded to it on the show a few times, but never outright like said what was going on. But I made a move. No longer in Baltimore. Now the 828, which is Western North Carolina, Asheville area. Long story short, everyone knows Reese. He was down here. His mom moved down here almost 2 years ago, and I couldn't be without my son, so I made that move and finally made it happen. I am sitting on a beautiful 5-acre lot, totally like rural area, like not me at all. But I found a really cool house. Landlord's cool, like a housemate situation. There's a couple people here. We're all like quiet, just keep to ourselves so far. But really cool people. Like I said, 5 acres. I wake up and there's like a barn at the end of the property out my windows. There's windows all over where I am. So it's a beautiful spot. I can't wait for you to see it because I know you already got camping plans.
You already. And so like you said, this is the first time you've kind of lived in this type of area, and I know that it is a huge difference from Baltimore. But how you've been adjusting, like what and what do you like most about it so far?
I mean, I'm a fat boy, so I gotta love the food, right? Like, we got Bojangles, we got Zaxby's right down the road. Like, you can't beat that. Fast food places have biscuits and gravy. Like, come on.
Dig it.
But I mean, as rural as it is, like there's like Walmart and everything right down the street, and then Asheville proper is more of a city. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
That's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. I've been wishing you well, and it's really good to hear that you're adjusting and really liking your digs, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. And sorry for cutting those onions on that post that you mentioned.
Hey man, it is what it is, and like I said, and uh, we said on the post as well. I mean, may have previously mentioned it, but just because Mark and I are in different states, we are going to continue to do JABO, and because the bond is never broken, right?
Exactly.
And I honestly feel like this is great for the show because you being in a new area, meeting new people, experiencing, a different part of the United States, and it'll bring some extra flavor to the show. So, I'm really excited to see how you make out and for all the things ahead, man.
Hey, you know what I'm excited about is I know we talked about it in the group chat, me, you, and Jana, but like MLB TV, they give that out for free with T-Mobile. I can actually watch the Orioles now. So
Oh my god, that's probably like one of the best things to happen.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh
They
gosh,
lost the
fuck
only game
you,
I watched so
Madison.
far, but
No doubt, no doubt. And we may mention the Orioles. We're going to talk a little bit about the Orioles a little later on in the show. But man, let's go ahead and get to it. Um, Biggest thing that has happened since we all last came together and chopped it up with the NCAA championship game. Man, you know, Mark, when we were talking about the Final Four, even with the Elite Eight and Sweet 16, we made mention of Florida as well as Houston. I know that in one of your brackets you had Houston going all the way, and we had made previous mention that a lot of people were talking that had picked Florida
yeah,
as well. Um, Man, I mean the two Final Four games, man, they were pretty amazing.
yeah, they were, yeah, they were.
They were pretty amazing. I'm not, and that's no BS on that. I if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Duke Houston game.
Yeah,
I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan, but I have to give Houston all the props in the world because they were super resilient. And man, I mean, the way that Duke had been playing up until that point, I mean, Duke looked pretty unstoppable. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah. I remember I tuned in late, and Duke actually had a pretty good lead. It seemed,
Yes, yes.
and it was the kind of game where like every time I turned it on, Houston would have like gotten closer, and then when I turn it on, they start getting further back. I'm like, well, I can't watch this thing, so I kept on turning it off, and yeah, finally I waited for that notification to come through saying Houston won. I'm like, thank God I didn't watch that thing.
Man, and that Florida game, that too. I mean, even though, like I said, a lot of people, picked Florida the way that they won their game. I mean, just I can't say anything other than resiliency was the theme for the Final Four because, both teams just really showed a lot of grit, really showed a lot of heart to make it to the championship game. And, once the matchup was set, and speaking in terms of the finals, I mean, whether you were a fan pulling for the squad from the beginning or not, you were excited for this championship game. I think, and we could talk a little bit about the women's final in a minute also if you'd like, but And I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Okay. Would you say that you were more excited for the men's championship than the women's?
Um, I honestly don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because
I'm gonna go there. It hurts me to say it, but I'm gonna go there.
South Carolina has been there like 5 out of the last 6 years or something like that.
Sure.
And man, just and it was against UConn again, so it was like a
Yeah.
matchup that we'd seen recently. Which don't get me wrong, they're both great teams, but been there, done that kind of thing, and everyone want to see Paige Bucker win a championship, but getting Florida and Houston. I think Houston was like their second finals appearance ever. Florida hadn't been there in, I don't know, 20, 25 years or whatever they said. This was exciting. And as much as no one likes to see the tournament go chalk, first time in 5, 6 years or however long it's been for four number ones to get to the final four. It was great. It was great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so so talking about the comparison between the two championship games, right? I losing Juju to injury really kind of put a hurting on the women's portion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because it was like, first of all, you had a lot of USC fans because of this one particular player.
Yep.
Right? And with that was the expectation of, hey, USC women's basketball, returning to greatness. Right?
Yep.
I mean, we all know how fantastic Dawn has been with South Carolina and also Gino as well with UConn. But, having that third extra piece, it brought the excitement of the unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like when we lost her, we lost that. Even with the particular matchup, you're either a Dawn fan or a Geno fan, so you were going to support either squad.
Right.
We know that they have met up several times in the past, and this was kind of like not necessarily a here we go again, but it just felt like it didn't have the zhuzh, the wow factor that it would have had we don't know if USC would have made it all the way. We don't know.
Yeah.
But that kind of what if, that lack of and the big possibility kind of took away from it this year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
It's a tournament. You can't say anyone's a shoo-in, but USC could have made a strong case for being in that finals.
Sure.
If Juju was
Sure.
there.
And, just having that one player could have, changed the whole trajectory of the tournament. And I think it's pretty evident in in watching the two different championships.
Yeah.
The Florida-Houston game, that was fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. And what did it have? It had what I was just talking about that was lacking with the women's tournament. You had that, even though, it was a lot of buzz, but you had two teams in the finals that weren't your usual suspects.
Yep.
And they delivered. I mean, it was a battle all the way down to the bottom. I mean, not to the bottom, but to the last second. Yeah. In case if you guys did not know, Florida beat Houston 65-63, which brings us to like our next topic. I want to talk about what I am trying to say, I will say the most epic collapse of like this generation, not my generation. Hey, not my generation, but I would have to say for these youngins, yo. I mean, would you agree or would you disagree?
Um, I'll say it's definitely up there. I don't know if it's the collapse, but I was trying to I've meant to, but then I never followed up. Find out when the NCAA moved the Final Four into the stadiums, because I was listening to a guy that a radio commentator. He'd been to the Final Four a few times, and he said when they're in those stadiums, it's just totally different. Usually, like the first half, they're missing shots and stuff because their depth perception and their vision is thrown off because usually there's just like these fans packed in right behind the basket. Now it's kind of like you got a whole lot of almost even field because you're in a football stadium. There's a lot of room.
Yeah.
And then like as they adjust, as they get used to it over the course of the game, like in the second half, you'll see who adjusts better. And I think the championship game really exemplified that. Like that was just what was sticking through me watching the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you able to watch like the last minute of the game? I know you said you were doing like the on and off thing.
Well, that was the Final Four. The championship game. I pulled a classic mark and I watched most of it and I fell asleep towards the end. I had to find out who won through the notifications on the phone because I think like 2 a.m. I woke up. I was like, wait, what happened to the game?
But you were able to see how it ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
The highlights, yeah.
Yeah, so you want to give the outsiders, I guess, like the gist of what happened, how the game ended. I mean, honestly, the last 5 minutes were like to me like the most exciting, but for sake of time, let's just talk about that last possession.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first half I'd say was definitely Houston's game. They were
Yeah,
up pretty 11 or 12 or something like that.
yeah.
And the second half opened up, and it seemed kind of like they were going to keep on rolling. But Florida, man, they fought their way back. I'm actually trying to rack my brain, trying to remember what happened on that last possession too, because like you said, 2 point game. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was on the inbound. Last possession of the game, the the Houston player was in possession, in control of the ball. They were looking to score.
Yeah.
I believe the gentleman, like jumped up in the air, and as he kind of jumped up in the air, I don't know, I felt like he kind of had like, I don't want to say a brain fart. I mean, yeah, it was like a brain fart. He jumped up in the air because it looked as if he was going to take the shot,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, quite honestly, that shit was at like NBA range. And to me was not a high percentage shot in the first place. But when he jumped up in the air, I don't know what happened, but his decision making completely failed because like a half a second before he hit the ground and was about to commit a travel, he just let go of the ball.
Wow.
And with the rule in basketball, if you jump up, both feet leave the floor. You've made a decision and you've got to follow through. You can't let go of the ball and pick it up again because it will be a travel. So
Yep.
basically what happened was, and I mean, it was so unbelievable. Like Florida didn't even have a chance to react, to digest and react to what the hell just happened. It was like everybody was staring, watching the ball bounce on the ground. And then it was like everybody had like this oh shit moment, but by then the damn game was over, man. It was, I mean, it was to me, it was like one of the toughest losses that I've seen in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And I just felt absolutely, I felt horrible for that game because, well, not just for the game, but for the player.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of thing that is going to follow you forever.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, he could make like the game-winning NBA Game 7 finals shot, and he'll still get haunted by that.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, if dude was to make it to the game, Game 7 finals of the NBA, there's 5 seconds to play, 5 seconds left in the game, and his team is inbounding. They're gonna play this clip. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's like one of those flashback moments that they just love to throw out there. Even though it was like, detrimental to this kid, but unfortunately, but that's the name of the game. That comes with the territory, man. And, ultimately, like I said, time runs out. Florida wins their 3rd championship. All of the kids go wild. A Florida player falls from the traffic light into the street. I mean, it was just, the celebrations were crazy, and like I said, even though they got a lot of chatter, they were getting a lot of burn at the beginning of the tournament, it was an unusual suspect winning the championship, and to me, that's always good for the game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For me, there's a play in the first half that really just kind of shows how big of a change Florida made in that first to the second half.
Sure.
And Houston was establishing their lead. They already had a pretty good lead, 8-9 points or something like that. And Florida was driving the basket. And the kid on Florida, like, he didn't really have a shot. I guess he kind of panicked or whatever, but he threw the ball. I don't know if he thought he was making a pass or what, but this thing went straight to the ref. The ref, sidestepped and it goes out of bounds. And I was like, Florida is just, so confounded right now.
Yeah.
With that, I really didn't think there was a way for them to come back. So, shout out to Florida on that.
Yeah. Like I said, it was a great game. Big contrast to the women's game. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the women's game because it was. I mean, there's not much you can talk about with the game.
Yeah.
It was tough to watch. I was expecting and hoping for a much tighter game than what we witnessed, but I have to shout out the UConn Huskies because they really showed why they were the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Not saying that they were, but they just looked like the more prepared team, the more disciplined team. I mean, the turnovers and the lack of made buckets for South Carolina to me was just really shocking. And there are very few times where you see Coach Don Staley just, for lack of a better term, out of sorts on the sideline. And just for me, it was just really hard to watch all the way around.
Yeah, I was looking at the box score earlier, and I was shocked that UConn actually won every single quarter. There wasn't even a quarter that South Carolina could put up better numbers. It was wild.
Yeah. Do we have any comments on either of the college games on the feed?
Yeah, over there on YouTube, the professor's on. He says UConn was going to beat whoever this year. They had the best team playing at their best.
What up, Harry? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, man. Clearly, like I said, I mean, they just really showed, why they were the best. I mean, they were so good. They made South Carolina look like the smaller team in every aspect, at every position, every aspect of the game. I mean, it wasn't the type of championship you wanted to watch, even if you were a UConn fan. You know, and like I said, I mean, with losing Juju, and then with a blowout that was legit to me, like legit evident in the second quarter, I was like, oh, this is just not going to be good.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the whole game. I had like zero, hope that they were going to come back. So I kind of checked out in the third quarter, but I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people that checked out at halftime.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I would say probably like the first 5-6 minutes of the first quarter was pretty competitive, but then like things unraveled so quickly. It was just tough, man. It was tough. And, tough ending for another fantastic season with South Carolina. But we'll all be and this year, the guys got it over the girls. I said I have no problem admitting it, but I keep it 100 on this show. But I am fully expecting the women's game, the women's portion of college basketball, to come back, make a comeback next year. We have plenty of storylines that are continuing, and now UConn's got a target on their back again. What are they going to do? Paige Beckers is committing to the WNBA. Will be in the draft, and it'll be good. I think it'll be another shakeup of a season, and it'll be ultra competitive again next year.
Oh, for sure. Harry actually just mentioned something. It says, what do y'all think about the female basketball players that entered the portal? And I think that so many people entered the portal next year it's got to be competitive, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think, geez, for the first time in a long time. I mean, remember how, back a couple months ago on the show, when in the offseason with the WNBA, there were all of these moves. I mean, there were so many moves, we could barely cram everything into one show. Remember how that was, and how shocked we were with, players like Brittany Griner leaving, and Natasha McLeod going to New York Liberty. I mean, there were so many moves. It was hard for us to jam it all into one show. That's kind of how I feel with women's college basketball.
Yeah.
And I love a shakeup. I love. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with the portal. Okay, and I think we might have talked about this a little bit on a previous show. It puts. Okay, I'm gonna be very careful when I choose my words, because it's not even just the portal; it's the NCAA as a whole. With the recent changes, NIL, the portal, there is a shift in power.
Yep.
And now, to me, the power's with the players.
Oh, for sure.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I mean, you decide. It's all about your preference and what you and what your thoughts are on that. To me, it helps the spirit of competition. But then you have this aspect of, again, let me choose my words very carefully. It kind of brings this vibe of professional athleticism. And what I mean by that is, these players basically become free agents.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hey, so, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I agree completely. Like, it went from one extreme almost to another extreme. They need to find that happy medium. Like,
Agreed.
maybe you only get 2 entries into the portal ever in your career, or
Yeah.
if you do more than two, you have to sit out a year. Like the old rule, something. Just it's like every year people are leaving and going somewhere else. It's crazy.
Yeah, and and I'd like to, Harry, I know you're listening, and anybody else out there. I mean, you have these players. I mean, essentially, when you're a college player, if you decide to, let's just say you max out and you decide to stay your entire college career, whatever that may be, 4 or 5 years. You have some players out there who are, since this portal thing has started, have played for 3 different colleges.
Yep.
And I think that, to me, that's a little bit ridiculous. I think, happy medium is the perfect terminology. That's what you came up with, Mark. It's very accurate, perfect way to describe, if you're really a fan of the college basketball, of the sport, of college sports, period, that's the perfect way to put it. And you tell me how you feel about this, Mark. I also feel that when you have a player going from college to college to college, okay, you're not. I mean, you're never going to have the same player. You want your player to evolve and to get better,
Yeah.
but you have this player with a particular skill set, right? Playing in 2, 3 different systems. How do you know? How do you really get to know that player? Do you understand what I'm saying? Where I'm going with that?
Yeah, especially at such a young age. When you're a pro and you can go different places, it's good to learn under different coaches. But at such a young age, it's you don't get that time to develop.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Cool. Yeah, so I mean, you guys feel free to chime in on that. Let us know how you feel about the portal. One thing that I do know is, these players haven't wasted any time. I mean, their players jumping ship already. I mean, there are a few players from South Carolina who have transferred. Since the championship game, there's players on Houston that have transferred already since the championship game. So I am, and I don't think that it's going to slow down. I don't think there will be a lull with that over the next couple of months. I do believe that, at least once a week, we will be waking up to some news about, some player leaving and going to another school. And that's the state of college sports now. And like I said, I mean, it really depends upon what type of fan you are, what your preferences are. That will dictate if you're a fan of it or not. At the very least, it'll all keep us on our toes and makes the future unpredictable, which, like I said, that's always good for a sport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we could talk on this for like hours, but I'll just throw it out there. In my personal opinion, in 10 years, the NCAA won't even be around anymore. So once these schools are in charge, like the power conferences are kind of making up the rules and having their puppet governing board, maybe then the schools will be more concerned about keeping the players to themselves.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's take a look at the menu, see what we got next. Okay, so, basically, we're keeping it basketball tonight. You want to spend a few minutes talking about the WNBA draft, since that is a very big deal. And we are, I believe that's going down Monday, the
Monday.
14th, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so let's spend a few minutes talking about the WNBA draft. As I said before, the big jackpot for this year's draft is Paige Beckers from UConn. She is a guard, and funny thing, for the women's championship game, to me, Paige Beckers didn't have a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she of course, she's a great basketball player. So her presence will be made and felt, but I felt like it was the others that really shone through and set the foundation and set the tone for that game early. I mean, the first half of the game, I don't want to say she was non-existent, but she was not the dominant figure. I was expecting her to come out and be dominant, and she was not. Regardless, she got that championship, and she is the projected number one pick.
Harry
go ahead.
Harry says Paige will turn around my Dallas Wings.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say she's expected to be taken first by the Dallas Wings, who yeah, I mean, Harry made it best. Said it best. I mean, they're in need of a star player. They were fifth in the Western Conference last year, which is not good. That is second to last place. Their record was 9-31, 225 win percentage. That is, let's keep it 100. That's pretty fucking abysmal. So, bringing that player does a lot of things for the franchise. It gets people gets butts in those seats, because guess what? Nobody's buying tickets to see a losing team. I don't give a shit what you say. And not only that, just from getting the number one pick, guess what happens now? Your team automatically becomes relevant.
Yeah.
Automatically becomes relevant, because we're going to be talking about you and her every game. And what happens when your team becomes relevant? Other players take notice. Hey, I might think about going there now. I'd like to play with Paige. Or, hey, this franchise maybe taking a turn for the better. And there's a lot of great things that come with having that number one pick in any draft, which is why there's tanking now. So definitely big congratulations. I do not foresee the Dallas Wings passing up on that.
Yeah.
They'd be insane. I mean, please, God, let's not make them the Dallas Mavericks of the WNBA. Okay? Let's keep a good head on our shoulders and make smart freaking decisions.
Now
she's going first.
Have you seen the draft order?
Yes. So what we have right now, we have the Dallas Wings as the first pick, as we said. Seattle Storm, another team that has been struggling with the second pick, and my beloved Washington Mystics that make me want to run headfirst into a wall. Okay? They got picks 3, 4, and 6. Which I'm sorry. God, I can't believe I just called you Harry. I got Harry on my brain. Which Mark, having 3, 4, and 6, especially if you think about last year's draft class and how that went, That's a good look for the Washington Mystics. Yeah, there were a lot of chess moves to get to that point, and if you were a fan of the Mystics, God, it was painful to watch this past season. I mean, they were equally painful. I mean, the Mystics and the Wizards, they are neck and neck as far as, just hurting their fan base with their decisions. It's painful, but now we're on the other side, and there are a lot of Mystics fans that will be tuning in on Monday to see what they do with this plethora of picks that they have.
Let me throw out a hypothetical at you, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
You said Paige is going to Dallas, and nothing will probably change that. You also just said the Mystics have 3 picks in the first 6 picks. Let's say Washington says, "Hey Dallas, we'll give you 3, 4, and 6 for number 1." Would you be down for Paige joining the Washington Mystics?
Oh, holy crap. And you know what, Mark? I have to give you your props because this is something that my brain didn't even. Dude. And you know what? I don't even know why I'm getting excited like this is reality, but yo, I mean, I'm salivating.
Well, I mean, on one hand, you get that number 1 Page, but also 3 top 6 picks. Like, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah. I mean, but that is one hell of a hypothetical situation that you came up with, man. And you know what? Hell, man, I'd go as far to say that, shit, you might have missed your calling as a GM, dog.
Harry says no. Dallas isn't making that move.
Yeah, that would definitely be something.
Right.
Definitely be something. And yeah, man, like I said, I mean, it's for the sake of the argument, man. Yeah, just really awesome. Really awesome. Awesome thought. But let's just talk a little bit about, what we have. And now, let me pull this up here. Do you have a mock draft up?
I do not.
All right. Hold on. Let me take a second to pull that up. Okay. So, as we said, Dallas Wings will take number 1, Paige Beckers. Number 2, Seattle Storm. They are, and this particular WNBA draft is going to be, to me, is really special because we have some foreign players to throw in the mix.
Yep.
Okay, and I say this because Seattle Storm is expecting to pick Dominique Malonga, who is 19. She played for France in the Olympics last summer. We know how well France did with their basketball competition, and and this 19-year-old who is a center, 6'6", dunked in a game in November in real time. All right, at 19 years old, played in France's top professional league since she was 15, and currently averaging a double-double. Okay, so I'm not 100% familiar with her game, but on paper, you're looking at somebody that could rival the likes of an Angel Reese.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. All right, so for the third pick, Washington Mystics are expecting to pick Kiki. She's from the USC Trojans. She's a senior, power forward. Basically, what happened with the Mystics, they completely dismantled the team, so they're in rebuilding mode, right? And not only are they in rebuilding mode with the team, but you got a new coach and a new general manager. And having said that and thinking about everything now, I don't know if I would necessarily take that number one for the 3 picks, because with these 3 picks, new coach, new GM, you can really wipe the slate clean and build a solid foundation now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, with 3 of the top 6 picks. So, this is Kiki actually came in the transfer portal. She came to USC from Stanford. As a junior. As a senior, she averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds. That's pretty solid. And of course, we know that by playing with the Trojans, she won the Big Ten regular season title and went as far as the Elite 8. I have watched a few of her games, and especially with all of the the Della Dawn drama with the Mystics, this will definitely be a good pickup for Washington if they go that route.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Now, number 4, they will also be filling a void because the Washington Mystics let go of Brittany Sykes, who was pretty decent guard for the Mystics. They are saying that the Mystics will be selecting at number 4 Sonia Citron, who is from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, shooting guard, 6'1", and she was very instrumental with helping Notre Dame in the ACC. Also went to this year's Sweet 16. She's also a first-team all ACC pick. God, say that fast 3 times. And was on the league's all defensive team. So again, another great lottery pick. If she's still available at number 4, and if by chance USC goes a different route, again, another big pickup for the Washington Mystics. All right, at number 5 pick, we got the Golden State Valkyries. Why is this so exciting, Mark?
I mean, it's a expansion team, so it's their first.
Exactly. I'm about to say, outside of stating the obvious, expansion team. First rodeo in regards to the draft. So, of course, there will be a lot of buzz to see what their first draft pick ever. I mean, you're making history here, regardless of who they pick. That player is automatically off the top, making their stamp in WNBA history by being the first pick of a franchise.
Yep.
And it is predicted that the Golden State Valkyries will be taking Anissa Morrow from the LSU Tigers. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I really want to get to this number 6 pick, which to me is, if this goes down, this will be one of the most exciting moments of the draft. Number 6 pick, they're expecting... And honestly, they better do what the hell I thought they were going to do last year with Angel Reese. They're expecting to take Cheyenne Sellers, who is the point guard of the Maryland Terrapins, keeping it home, keeping it in the house. She's a fantastic point guard, great size. her last year in college, she had a career best 40.8% 3-point range shooting, averaging 14 points. And these are all women that is made it to at least a Sweet 16 or better.
Yeah.
So to me, that will be for me, that will be the most exciting point of the night if everything goes down as predicted.
Yeah, and Harry says Mystics will be smart to draft Sellers and get the Terps fans down to DC. They screwed up last year letting Angel go to Chicago.
See, me that. When Harry and I differ, I'm shocked. I'd be shocked because we're so we seem to be in sync most of the time. I mean, of course, we can't do it. It's not one mind, one body all the time, but we're on point with each other. We're locked in with each other quite often, and to hear that comment, that solidifying comment from the professor, I feel good about it.
Yeah, I did find a mock draft or an article that combines several different mock drafts.
Sure.
So USA Today is the one that has Cheyenne Sellers going in that 6th pick, but Yahoo has Tahina Pau from South Carolina.
Ooh, now that's okay. All right, so for our outsiders out there, and particularly Harry, and you don't have to answer this right now. I mean, we still got a few minutes left in the show. Just, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who would you rather have? Because, Pow Pow, she's a guard too. So we have, 2 players. We can compare this. Right?
Yeah.
We have 2 players that play the same position. It's not like they're 2 separate, different positions. One's a guard, one's a forward, or whatever. Who would you rather have? And Fran, Harry, I would love to hear you hear your thoughts on that, and I would like to know who you would pick if you were the GM of the Mystics. Gosh. As far as talent is concerned, that's a really tough pick. Now, if we're really thinking like a real GM, okay, because I don't care what you guys say. At the end of the day, winning is a big thing, but at the end of the day, your main concern as a general manager is if you can get those games to sell out every freaking game.
Yep.
And that should be your objective, and if that's your objective, then definitely Sellers is the pick.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other comments on the WNBA draft before we move on?
I only want to say that I forget the place they're holding it in New York, but it's entirely sold out. They were selling tickets, which just another win for the women, selling out the draft.
Yeah, and it's at Hudson Yards in New York City.
Yeah.
It's called the Shed at Hudson Yards, which I'm not familiar with the venue, so that'll be a little educational piece for me as well. I'll definitely be tuning in. But like I said, it's just par for the course for the WNBA. Viewership is surging. The excitement is surging. So, this draft will definely continue the hype. There are a lot of people out there that, and I don't know why. I'll just say that they're either haters or trolls that are expecting, for some crazy, insane reason, a decline in the WNBA in the next couple of years. And it's just like, I don't even know how you could, how your mind would be able to go there given the last 2 years.
Caitlin Clark didn't win a championship.
Okay. We've seen it all, dude.
Harry hasn't answered your question.
Okay, great. What is it?
He said, I would pick both. The one that I don't like for the Mystics is Citron. I would pick Sellers at 6 and Pow Pow at 4.
Ooh. Okay, shaking up the mock draft. And Harry, you quoted USA Today
Me?
for that draft order. I also have the same draft order for ESPN. So I feel like this mock draft is the more popular picks,
Could be, yeah.
combination of picks that are out there. But again, I mean, we got another possible GM in the building. Bringing another spin to it. I like that idea too. I mean, you got a nice 1-2 punch. You could definitely shake things up with the starters, as well as have somebody come off the bench or whatever, split time, however the hell you want to do it. I like that. I like your thinking on that, Harry, and thank you for commenting.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Is there any real on wrestling before we do our last topic of the evening?
Just that we are 1 week away from WrestleMania. We got SmackDown's on the night, Raw next Monday, NXT next Tuesday, and then it's going to be like SmackDown next Friday, the Hall of Fame next Friday, WrestleMania Night 1 on Saturday, NXT on Saturday, WrestleMania Night 2 on Sunday. It's always exciting stuff that's happening and always surprises. So I'm excited.
All right. Cool deal. All right, you guys. I'm sighing because I just... You know what we're about to talk about, right?
I mean...
You do the same thing. It's just like, man, God damn it.
When you spend like 14 years in a row at the bottom of the basement, then, it's just finding that comfortable space again. Look.
Baltimore Orioles, man. Okay, in case you did not know where we were going with this.
Look. There's 149 games left. Everyone panic right now.
Yeah. I know you're being facetious and joking and everything, but I'm kind of panicking.
How does a team enter the...
I'm gonna make you laugh, yo. I'm gonna make you laugh.
Huh.
And I think I've kind of subconsciously have not been checking the standings because I didn't want to, again, run head first into a wall. But when I pulled up the team for the notes today, I could just feel it creeping up from my stomach, up my throat. I could feel the panic, man. I was feeling the fear. I literally said out loud, mind you, I'm at work. What the hell? Dude, I did not realize we were in last place in the AL East. I knew it wasn't great. Okay? I knew it wasn't great. And again, like, been watching, well, I can't say been watching the games, but been following the games that I haven't been, had been present for because I've gone to a couple of games, but, following on the internet, but just really not following the standings and, the results. And when I say the results, I mean the win-loss record. We are 5-8. And, I don't know what I was expecting, but this was definitely not it.
Yeah, but how many injuries do they have already? Like, it's kind of sad.
13.
Injuries?
How many games have they played, or how many games have I watched?
No. How many injuries do they have already? Like,
injuries. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Injuries. Yeah. It's rough, and it's evident when you're looking at the lineup. I remember, I went to the first two home games.
Yeah.
March 31st, April 2nd. And both times, I went and, I take my seat, I look at the lineup, and there's like two people on there that I'm like, who the hell is this? And it's because of the injuries.
Yeah, right?
It's because of the injuries.
Zach Elfin, Grayson Rodriguez, Albert Suarez,
Yeah.
which he's pretty new to the list. I remember seeing that notification yesterday, I think. Kyle Bradish, I mean, he had Tommy Johns. He's might come back
Yeah.
second half of the year. Samuel Basilio, Colton Cowser. Yeah, our list is pretty bad.
Yeah. And it's not a good start to the season. Tonight they're supposed to take on the Blue Jays. If you're not in 410 and you don't know, it's raining crabs and crab cakes out there, guys. So the game has been postponed, and not such a bad thing, because it gives you an extra day to regroup and recalibrate. But I mean, as I said, even this couple weeks into the season, the Orioles have entered the panic talks.
Yeah.
And, along with, another team that, I'm just absolutely shocked that they're beginning the Atlanta Braves. They're worse, believe it or not, they're worse off than we are. But the shocking thing about them is they're healthy.
Right.
So I have no idea WTF is going on down there, but we're going to stick to the 410. Yeah, so, tough start to the Orioles. We all know, we talk about it every season. The American League East is toughest. You got to, the only way that you can come out of that thing alive is consistency.
Yep.
Consistency. You got to consistently win. And needless to say, the Baltimore Orioles does not have that right now. Not only do they not have the consistency, there's another detrimental piece of run differential is -6, which to me is a little uncharacteristic with the Orioles, because generally we do a pretty good job of putting runs on the board.
Yeah, it almost feels like the Dave Tremblay live by the home run, die by the home run days.
Yeah, and let me tell you, outsiders, we do not want to go back to that shit. Okay. Good thing is plenty of season left, plenty of baseball left to be played. But we knew what the Yankees were going to do. We knew that the Toronto Blue Jays made moves, put pieces in place to be part of the AL East excellence, and they're there.
Yep.
They're currently tied for first. Okay. What I want the Orioles to do, concentrating on the next week, and I'm saying Friday to Thursday or Friday to Friday, however you want to do it. Let's just start chipping away from this thing. We're starting out in the basement. We got to crawl our way out. So what are we going to do? First things first, we got to get above for the love of God, we have to get above the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, first things first. All right. We have a great opportunity this weekend with, I'll say the next two series. We have a great opportunity here. We have another matchup with Toronto. Okay. And if you guys remember, we split the series. That was our opening series. All right, so we have another opportunity, and this time this series is only 3, so there will be a winner coming out of this. There's no split. All right, so we have an opportunity to take this series and get some more wins under our belt. All right, and then next up we have the Cleveland Guardians, who, they're in the middle of their division. They're certainly doing better than the Orioles, but we have another opportunity to improve our play and our record against a team that we can take that series as well. We can. I do feel as though, ideally on paper, even with the injuries, that we can compete with the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah. And even the series past that, the Reds, that's in Baltimore.
Yeah. So I mean, and let me say, in regards to the Cincinnati Reds, I mean, baseball has been interesting in the beginning, the first couple of weeks, because we have some shakeup there as well early on. And when I say that we have some shakeup there, as far as the standings are concerned, we've got the Detroit Tigers leading the AL Central.
Yep.
And early on, making a strong case for being a legit postseason contender. Okay? In AL West, we have the Texas Rangers. And holy crap, where did they come from? The Los Angeles Angels. They get Mike Trout back. All of a sudden, everybody knows how to play baseball again.
Right.
Duking it out for first place. Okay? New York Mets making a case in the NL. Chicago Cubs leaving the NL Central. So, and I said all of this to kind of talk about the Cincinnati Reds, and they are at the bottom of their division in the NL Central. They have the same record as the Orioles. They're both 5-8. They have a lot of young stars on the squad, kind of similar to the Orioles. And with these three, with these three series, the Orioles have a potential to move up in the rankings.
Yep.
Let's just say we get 3 series wins, right? 3 consecutive series wins. You think that's enough to boost us right back to the middle?
Yeah, let's say they, take each series 2-1, and that's 6-3 overall.
Yeah.
That'll bring it back up to 11-11, 500 ball. And
yeah. I'm not impressed with the Tampa Bay Rays, and I maintain for another season. I don't know what those people did to somebody down there, but they are like cursed right now, and it's just such an epic fall from greatness, because I mean we know Tampa Bay Rays were very relevant consistently, and then it was just all of a sudden like nothing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of baffling, and I'm wondering if that GM is sweating or starting to sweat, because another shit season. I would have to think there are going to be some grumblings.
Yeah, he's one of those GMs that was able to put together good teams on low payroll, but
yeah.
I think that era is kind of over for now with New York and LA.
Hell yeah. Oh, they've destroyed it.
Yeah.
No, the Los Angeles Dodgers single-handedly destroyed it, because now everybody's trying to do what they're doing.
Didn't Toronto...
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Didn't Toronto lock down Vlad Jr. for like 14 years or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was kind of shocked to hear that news.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that. I wouldn't have done it. That's all I can say. But everybody's trying to do what the Los Angeles Dodgers are doing, and everybody's making a valiant effort on the offensive end. But you know what I feel where everybody is falling short?
Where's that?
Pitching.
Yeah.
And I think that was pretty evident with the Yankees last 5 games, for real. The Yankees, their last 10 games, they're 5-5. Okay? They did not do well against the Detroit Tigers. They did not do well against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they are currently getting their asses handed to them by the San Francisco Giants. And what does the one thing that all of these games have in common? Let me just run it off to you. And these are just the L's that they took, okay? Lost to Detroit, 5-0. Lost to Detroit, 6-2. Lost to Arizona, 7-5. Lost to Arizona. This to me is the only respectable one, 4-3. What is all of that? Pitching. Why? Y'all done gave up hella runs. Okay? And so, that is going to be the one thing that I feel like everybody's going to have to figure out, Mark.
Yeah.
If you want to really be competitive and keep up with the likes of the Los Angeles Dodgers, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't see anybody beating them this year as of right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You got you got a couple of wannabes out there, but legit, nobody. So, yeah, man, I mean, that's that as far as baseball is concerned. We're crying real tears over here because, goddamn it, the Orioles just can't get right. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of baseball left to be played, but, oh, man, if you can't get from under that injury bug, there's not a lot of hope for you. So, to me, it's up in the air.
Harry sums it up just perfectly, just like I said at the start. It's early in the season. Those will be fine.
I hope so, man, because I am legit panicking like crap. Okay, man. Is there anything else you want to put out there before we sign off for the night?
Well, after the glum, gray days of the Orioles, we should finish it off on a positive note, right?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I know you were celebrating it. A lot of people were celebrating it. A huge milestone was this past week. The records are made to be broken, right? And one of those records that seemed like it might be untouchable was Wayne Gretzky's scoring record in the NHL. And Alexander Ovechkin, Washington Capitals, he broke it. And 895 goals. He did it with like 6 games left in the season, 5 games, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And what was really crazy was the night before, or the game before, he had a chance to do it. But it was on a power play. There was an open net, and the coach asked if he wanted to go in and get it. He shook his head no. He wanted to do it in competition. He didn't want an open net. So shout out.
You want that asterisk by them, that's a real G for you.
Right. And Wayne Gretzky, shout out. He was like, I want Alex to beat my record.
Real humble was it.
He's still got records, so he's like, I'm fine. Hockey's a crazy thing because they take your assists and your points, and those or your assists and your goals, and those are your points. He's still the overall points leader by almost 1,000 over the number 2. So Gretzky's like, I'm fine. I'll be all right. I got my assists.
Yeah. And honestly, when you know you the shit, you're not threatened.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And that, seriously, that's the mentality of real goaters. Okay, people like to throw around their GOAT word all the time and everything. You're only the GOAT when you can sit as a spectator in the sport that you played and cheer for the young Buckaroos that's coming for you.
Right. Yeah.
And I talk about, Ovi being a G. For real, Wayne Gretzky is hockey's original. He's the OG.
Yeah.
All-time OG.
And, thankfully, like, the Caps are doing amazing this year. So,
going
maybe,
to the playoffs, lots of fun.
And #1 seed, I think, in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whooping ass. I love it. They're the only thing we have to be happy about in Washington right now, and that includes everything. Everything. But yeah, man, big shout out to Mr. Bands Will Make It Dance. Bands Will Make It Dance. That's his favorite song. That's how he likes to start it off before they take the ice. And honestly, we may be a little bit biased here because it's close to home, but man, it couldn't happen to a better person. I mean, he is just such a colorful character, colorful player, just a lot of fun to watch, fantastic personality. Yeah. I mean, when you're the best, sometimes you draw haters. Ovi is one of those rare players that you don't hear too many people hating on.
Yeah. By all accounts, everyone that's ever come across him, like, just the nicest guy possible, too. Very humble.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great way to end the show, man. Thank you so much. I can't believe I forgot my guy, for real. I mean, the Orioles, that'll do it. They'll do it to you. They make you want to forget your life, everything. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. Mark, again, I want to personally just, congratulate you in making the big move and stepping up and doing the right thing for you and your family. And, you already know the JABO squad, our third counterpart who is probably watching but not on the line with us today. We all wish you the best. And I'm very excited for you. And outsiders, we're going to keep this damn thing going. We're going to rock this thing till the wheels fall off, as the old heads like to say.
We'll be in the retirement home doing this.
Yeah, no shit. And I'll be screaming with no teeth in my mouth. Baltimore, we know how we end this show. And you know what, Mark? I feel like I need to come up with a new sign off.
Right?
Because we gotta incorporate North Carolina into this thing now. I mean, it's a family affair. So I'm gonna start brainstorming on that. But, spread love, y'all. Be safe this weekend, and enjoy all the sports that is going down because, hey, man, we got a lot going down this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. NBA playoffs are right around the corner. We'll be spending more time on that next week. And, man, be safe, stay clean, give hugs, all of those good things. I'm your favorite host, Keisha, and on the other end of the line is your favorite co-host and my favorite slice of pizza. Might have to start calling him my favorite light-skinned biscuit.
Oh, my God.
That's my man, Mark, and we are just a bit outside. Peace.
World, spread love.